taken the number one team to a game 3.
Yep, Immortals again trying to keep as much distance as they can between themselves and everybody else.
Yeah, and to kind of set up what this match means here is Dignitas, if they win, they secure themselves a playoff spot and they will be in playoffs. If Immortals win, they give themselves a 2-match buffer where they only have to win one more to be in that number 1 spot and secure a first-round bye for them, which they are very close to doing.
Yep, you can see the bans though have almost completed here in phase 1. LeBlanc, Thresh, and Caitlyn banned out by Dignitas, Zach, Nunu, and one more to go for Immortals. We'll see exactly where they want to go with this last one. I think a lot of discussion about the types of champions they could ban away. They kind of beat Maokai already, so maybe they don't want to ban that one, but
yeah,
it did certainly cause some problems, and it does just seem like the Cassia will be banned for the 3rd game in a row.
Yeah,
and
every game.
And now first pick Tristana for Dignitas, so
wow.
seems like priorities have changed a lot in this series.
Yeah, no Sivir. They first picked, so far, AD Carry has actually been first picked all 3 games. It was Caitlyn, then Tristana, and now Tristana again with the Caitlyn being banned away.
Cool, interesting stuff. We'll see how Immortals do respond, but like we've seen, it doesn't feel like they really want to take Maokai all that often. There's
yeah.
Jin, though, locked in for Cody very early.
Jin Jarvan? Is that what we're seeing here? Syndra also on the table if they want to go for one of those super early picks, but I feel like you save that for a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I almost feel like you could take support here as well.
Gragas.
Looks like Gragas will be the pick instead. So another flex pick, but certainly expecting Smithy to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a real
I
flex
feel like
pick.
it's not a flex pick so much anymore since top lane got nerfed. It's like one of those ones where we have not seen it top lane. It's like, I would say 10% presence top lane, if anything. But I feel like comfort is very important here in this last match. Keen putting them on the Syndra there, which I said was a high priority for both these teams to actually lock up early. Is this Syndra plus Maokai for Dignitas? But Shrimp, you saw what happened where the Maokai in the jungle just got completely destroyed. But he's not up against Rek'Sai. He knows what matchups he's in now.
Keen again, having some fun. It's nice to see him back on some more unique champions. That was something he was known for a long time. But it looks like Syndra, and there's the Maokai, going to join in those first 3 picks for Dig.
Yeah, go for comfort, have the flex. Talia, I assume, will come through, yes. Yep. And yeah, I think it's all about comfort here. We talk about how Immortals kind of played their own meta of what their high-tier champions are. But I'm looking at Game 3s in particular for comfort, and I was looking at the stats. Dignitas has actually played the most Game 3s out of any team so far in the North American LCS. They have played 12 Game 3s out of their 14 matches, which is insane, but they are 5-6. And this is their 12th one here, whereas Immortals are 3rd most Game 3s, and they have played 9 of them, currently at 7-1. They have only lost 1 Game 3.
Well, you can hear the cries from the crowd as Bard eats a ban there from Dignitas. Janna also banned by Immortals, so again, a lot of targeting down towards that bottom half of the map with ADs already picked. Oli and Adrian kind of fighting back. There's Gnar banned away, though, by Immortals, so looks like IMT might want to tank out of this one. We saw Shen for Flame earlier, so Dig might have to ban it here, or I think Immortals will just take it. Quite probably even blind.
Shen.
The Shen ban.
Yeah, making sure that it doesn't go top lane with the Gnar ban. Blitzcrank actually up right now, which is an interesting thing because it was banned by Immortals both games. And now it's going to be let through. And was it really that much of a power pick for Adrian that it's a game changer for them? It might be, considering it's a Jhin.
Yeah, I think a lot of discussion here about kind of where to put the counter pick, but if they feel
exactly.
All right, so there's Jarvan. That should be top lane, though. Which we haven't seen for a while from Flame, but certainly a pick that he's very comfortable on.
Renekton kind of fell out of the meta. Isn't really played as banned at all anymore. So Jarvan doesn't have too many things that he feels really bad about playing into. The Shen is kind of one. The Kled isn't really too much of another, but this is more for the team and for the engage.
Yeah, Dignitas have shown that they have a pretty strong preference towards team fighting, so Kled makes it pretty easy to get those started. And now it's that final pick here for Dig. We'll see if Adrian kind of sticks with his defensive supports or...
Oh, he thought about that one. Yeah, he thought about that one a lot. And he was like, no, I think this is what we're going for. Alistar, all right.
All right, well, gonna double down on those last 2 picks for team fight strength. There's some moves from the crowd.
Cowbell Alistar incoming.
Oh, yeah, definitely. These 2 players are definitely Cowboy Alistars.
You could just tell. What's your tier list? You give them like a cowbell next to it or no cowbell. And yeah, the Morgana, I actually thought they're saving their last pick for support, and they would blind pick their top laner. They don't care if Flame gets counter picked as much, if he can team fight, as much as the bottom lane. Because if you pick Blitzcrank, Olay will play the Morgana. It's one of the only people playing it. I think Aphromuhaku or kind of the other ones that jump to mind. But it's definitely that pocket pick of theirs that he has played for so long.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice one for Immortals, because I think if something like Janna or Karma was picked again, then Olay's like, okay, lanes are open to pick Blitzcrank here and really start making plays. Instead, still got a good skill shot CC there with the Morgana, but just respecting the playmaking power and all the CC of Alistar, Kled, Syndra, and Maokai.
A lot of engaged potential from Team Dignitas. A lot. And we saw what happened to Pobelter. He was getting engaged on left and right in the last game. Oh. Having to blow his flash. You wish you had 3 flashes at that point.
Fortunately, no. As you can see, the comps here for this final game between these two. Immortals trying to hold on to a very good-looking record. Dig trying to stay up there, right in and amongst those top 4 teams. They're going to break a lot of clusters in the standings by the end of this weekend.
Yep.
So up to these two teams to see exactly where they fall as Week 8 ends. Immortals, their weekend is coming to a close after this series as well, so do you want to try and end the weekend strong?
Yeah, and Immortals have only lost a single Game 3 so far this split, winning 7 others. It happens frequently where they're taken to a Game 3, but they end up clutching it in the end. And that's what this team is looking for here over Dignitas. They're trying to remain #1, whereas Dig are trying to secure playoffs.
Well, we'll have to see exactly how it all shakes out, because Dig have shown kind of a lot of slow, steady, team-oriented play throughout this series. IMT fast and loose sometimes, but they win a lot of games that way. So I'm expecting quite a lot of pressure once more from Xmithy. And these are lanes that are set up where they can play aggressive, especially if the junglers can intervene.
And that's the big thing about the last game is we're thinking about like the Karthus versus Taliyah matchup. It's not really Karthus favored, but then if the Maokai with a point and click comes in, the Taliyah is almost always dead. And so the Rek'Sai was tracking the Maokai all game long, even off that first invade where he got the flash out, and then you saw the Maokai try to go mid. It was the whole idea behind it. If Shrimp can get into these lanes because Xmithy isn't on as aggressive or high damage dealing early game jungler, then Shrimp can affect something like Pobelter versus Keen, whereas Pobelter's just been playing well, even in the loss they had.
Yeah, his Corki game, his first loss on the champion this split was still a valiant one there. Looks like both teams are kind of, again, feeling each other out here early on in the game, but no wards being put down just yet, so pretty neutral vision across the river. Ole did try and sneak a binding onto Keen in mid lane, but was well dodged, and now Shrimp is going to go back on the blue buff here, starting with some saplings. Xmithy once again with the Raptor start, so staying consistent in these early jungle paths.
Yeah, looks like a topside start to possibly affect the bottom lane.
But also going to help out here, so Xmithy should get to cruise through this jungle. After that, somebody doing the same here for Shrimp.
And that should take it there. He'll be on his way. Ooh. Decent early game damage there. Olay actually takes a bit of a beating.
Doesn't have Black Shield just yet. Took binding level 1, which is kind of expected. So Adrian Outside do have to respect those cooldowns. Another good binding finds damage.
Yeah, the fact that it's a double range matchup into the melee matchup, this is kind of one of the reasons we saw the melee supports not get played a whole bunch earlier in the year, and people were favoring Zyra and whatnot. And then people credited Doran Shield with bringing back melee supports, but now that people are not even running it half the time, still play them because the mid-game playmaking is just so good.
Yep.
But you sacrifice the lane. And we saw what happened last time when the lane was in favor of Immortals. Olay got to roam and affect the whole game.
Speaking of roams, great one from Pobelter, actually at level 1, pushing the lane in and getting a ward down. I think it's another binding. There's the Deadly Flourish follow-up.
And Adrian does not have... Oh, what? He messed that up for his, for his AD. He does not have the Relic Shield. So hitting those casters, making sure that he can actually run around and get that ancient coin stuff, but he's not actually healing too much here. Just the Alistar trample. And that's it.
Someday Flame doing battle now. Could bear up there by Someday, but couldn't get all 4 kits on.
Well, Flame's close to level 3 here. You could actually dismount him if you waited for it, but decides not to go for it because he doesn't have vision top.
Again, no need to play overly aggressive here. Can't see the junglers, as Xmithy actually already backed off and got the second half of his jungle item, so very early back here.
Yeah, this is the clear your whole red side, top side jungle. Get whatever jungle item you need. Sometimes it's the longsword for the more aggressive junglers, and then you get control ward, longsword. But he's actually gone for double control ward and a jungle hunter's machete. Yeah, in this bottom lane, yeah, the follow-up CC. One lands, the other one's going to land. Someday, though, trying to go mid, trying to actually throw Pole Belter off. There's the stun. It's a little early. He's going to actually force him back.
Someday might still think
I
about
actually feel
it,
like Keen did that too early.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Someday not wasting too much time. He's going to walk back as Adrian gets a good combo on a Cody. Black Shield there, though, to shake off the rest of the damage. And another great bit of return CC and damage there from IMT. I mean, this bot lane looks insanely unfun. Yeah, for Dignitas.
They picked the Tristana for the scaling. Cody-san, though, has that early damage with the Jhin and the trading with the grenade. Well, plus the Morgana. You're in for kind of a bad time here if Adrian doesn't get out. And he's running Ignite. So he's looking for some kills early to mid-game.
Have to definitely track how much CS Altec is able to get right now. Pretty even. But Cody does have a CS lead right now. Other than that, looks like an early back from Kane, actually. And so from Pole Belter. Lost chapter already finished for Kane, so get those early items finished.
Yeah. Dark Seal as well for Pole Belter.
Also going for, I assume, Banshees first with that non-magic mantle.
Yes.
Clearly it has a surprising amount of versatility in early items, and against Syndra you do need protection.
Yeah, it's always kind of like what he did against the Corki as well. We saw the Hex Drinker come in just to make sure when level 6 comes through, like you'll see kind of the pro players who are playing against Syndra, when Syndra's level 5, try to get it back in and buy at least a null magic mantle, maybe even a little bit more, because right before she hits 6, you need to have something.
Another great route there again. Altec's just taking so much damage.
Cody-san 2 shots away.
Grenade.
Oh,
Gets a heal, really smart stuff.
Was waiting for it there. The bouncing grenade, actually really good to use it on Adrian there and just have it bounce over to Altec. But Pole Belter now on the bottom side with Xmithy. They know the mid lane's missing. Shrimp is actually going to be a little bit late to this.
Yeah, trying to push the wave in. Altec's already gone back.
Back, yeah. Altec backed. Adrian's going to try to hold, yeah.
Going to give it up. Xmithy down here as well, but this lane is just going to go straight to turret at this point. Altec, I think, even use jump to just get back to lane as soon as possible. And Adrian, he's going to hold the wave, but so Ole is going to harass him, make sure he can't do too much of that.
Yeah.
Looks like it is finally going to hit the turret, but Altec does get here pretty much in time.
Doesn't lose experience either, which is really big for him. He's going to pick up a decent amount. Someday, trying to go back in, going to remount.
Yep, pretty easy one there. Just gets all 4 hits of the passive and shoots Flame for the last little bit of courage. CS is nice and even in this matchup as well, so seems like Flame and Someday kind of going toe-to-toe. And it really just has been kind of another quite early game, which has been symptomatic of the series. But definitely watch for either of these junglers to set something up, because I feel like Xmithy especially, it doesn't gank that often. It's kind of like depending on his opponents and how he's kind of feeling on the day. But when he does gank, his success rate is very high.
Yeah, he's always looking for those opportunities. I'm looking mostly at the supports, though, because like their backs have just come through. So Adrian may be able to make something happen here in the near future, but Ole is actually a few seconds faster, because we saw what happened on bottom side with the priority, where Adrian held the wave and Ole got back a little bit earlier. Ole gets to back, gets to put wards down in the jungle before Adrian does, so Adrian can't actually walk up and put wards in like the Tri-Brush or the Pixel Brush or anything like that.
A lot of vision actually on that bottom side jungle for both teams, so clearly the area of interest right now makes sense with the top lane just splitting farm for the most part, and looks like Kane again is just farming up on the Syndra. No need to play too aggressive in the Pole Belter, who did itemize very effectively just to make sure there wasn't too much pressure from the Syndra.
Looks like Merc Treads was the first item here. He's respecting the CC. So I talked about how Maokai plus Karthus was a really good combo. He's actually taken Cleanse this game on his Talia. So the Maokai Syndra combo, if he gets rooted, he's going to be able to Cleanse Flash, doesn't instantly die to every single time he gets Twisted Advance. So I like that, and also the fact that if he doesn't have it up, he's going to have those Merc Treads.
Altec trying to fire something back here, but Cody level 6. Altec and Adrian still level 5 as Ole is getting close as well. Not quite there.
Adrian will hit it a little bit sooner, I believe, because Ole roamed for longer, and Adrian got to get some solo experience after the back. Yeah, they both hit at the same time, so they actually have level 6 advantage here, just slightly. For Alistar, it's not a huge deal, but he's going to check it out. And Xmithy, everybody sees each other.
Yeah, all that vision being put down early from his sight students is kind of creating a pretty
They want this ward.
slow-paced early game, but the bait is there. Pobelter knows it. He's trying to flick Shrimp back in and does do so. Keen, they're going to force him out as Xmithy going straight in aggressive on the Shrimp. Shrimp low. He's going to force Keen's heal out, but Xmithy barely on the right end, and first blood actually goes to the Maokai, took down the Gragas, but Pobelter does get the counter kill. Over the wall after the flash, and Keen is going to get a double stun. Pobelter, he got black shielded, but Ole not so lucky. Cody is going to go down as well, and Dignitas come up huge.
Pobelter's flash pushed the slipstream even further, and everybody gets to rush in, and Adrian follows up with a headbutt there, and Dignitas have an early game that goes their favor for the first time in the series.
Really nice collapse, and we'll watch it how it all started. IMZ have the initial jump here.
Yeah, but watch the damage that goes on to Pobelter here. The Thunderlords and all of that comes through, so he's half HP and skirting this fight. The TP comes through first from Flame, the heal, and that prediction from Xmithy is beautiful, but the first blood does go over to the Maokai, who then zones Pobelter slightly, and then the flash to make sure, and then Keen follows, but then the stun goes through, and then the cow, yeah, that's right. He gets the moves, gets the headbutt pulverized.
Credit to Adrian there for setting it up. Keen had a pretty easy drop, as it turns out, to clean up that fight, but a great collapse from Dignitas, again, playing as 5. Seems to be where a lot of their strength lies. Pobelter returning back to lane, does have a kill, and gets blue buff now for himself, so set up nicely for himself, but Dignitas up 3 kills to 1 and 1,000 gold.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday when we were casting, where the Syndra, you get an early lead, you get even 3 assists like this, you hit breakpoints much sooner, and you end up being able to kill the AD carry very early on. And so Keen has the tools to snowball this game now. He doesn't have like a licking advantage. It's mostly neutral here, and the fact that Pobelter picked up a kill as well kind of just still makes it even. But if you can spread this out, start roaming, and get to other lanes, then Keen, like we've said, we're wanting to see some more consistency from him to be that standout performer, because Altec and Sunday both put up great damage numbers on a very regular basis. It's just Keen is kind of the one who it's irregular, not always there. But this game, he's set up to have a good performance.
Certainly off to a good start here, as Dignitas still having to play a bit more defensively. Bottom lane still well in favor of Immortals, so smart to see them pressuring where they can. This game's certainly not snowballing heavily in one direction just yet, but you have to maybe worry just a bit for Immortals. As the team that has been really wanting to push the game as quickly as possible, particularly these types of team comps. I don't think, unlike in the first game, that Dignitas have a really obvious scaling advantage, but they've certainly picked every game to try and outscale. See if they can manage that here as Adrian goes in. Starting to get much more aggressive on the R-Star now. Shot by Cody, going to get rooted up as well, but Dignitas able to leave that lane first, maybe try and get some vision as Xmithy does pop down towards the Drake area. There is a cloud on the table if the teams want to fight for it.
Man, oh, he actually just put aggro there. Adrian's gonna take damage.
I think that was Balmy Cinder as Adrian slowed down a little bit.
And it looks like Kled flanking here. They're trying to get the flashless Pobelter, or at least the turret, because it's very low. But here's Xmithy on the side. They're gonna get it.
It's going down. Really nice play there. Again, Someday roaming down to mid lane. Using that bit of priority. In fact, sacrificing some minions here as Flame is put into the turret.
Sacrificing some CS. Now Flame gets the opportunity to try and make a play. If you see Keen go a little too far forward, there aren't wards on this side to actually cover his approach. Keen might be dead here if he sticks around, so he has to back up and respect the possibility.
Hugging the correct side there as well. IMC even have a deep ward in the lane to try and spot where Keen is moving to or even backing from, but Keen respecting the fact that Flame is missing. Someday going to return to that lane and get the lane pushing back towards that turret, and kind of a casual looking roam there for Someday, but actually breaking mid turret like that is a huge credit to Keen for all the pressure he's been able to put out with the lead he's gotten. And
on Talia.
It's very rare that Immortals sit there and lose a turret and have no real response. Just a nice little play there from Dignitas to find an advantage.
Yeah, and Keen backing up was big, and oh, Someday. He's invading, trying to take away whatever he can here, and it's the red buff. Xmithy backing on the bottom side. They saw him over by his blue a bit ago, and so Someday knows that this is safe to actually do. He doesn't have a blast cone to get out, so if they are a little bit more keen on this, he used the joust.
Yep, trying to get away quickly, and now Flames caught him, but gonna be okay. Throws out the Q, does not hit, and successful red buff steal for Someday. The out of combat health regen going to start to kick in.
Yeah, it gets better as you level up and when you hit some breakpoints. So early on, it's not noticeable, but 10, 11, around level 13 as well definitely helps.
Looks like did briefly get rooted there,
Yes,
I
he did.
believe.
Saw the SKT logo on the bottom.
But gets out again as...
Actually using 3 SKT skins this game.
Playing the dunk in the mid
No
lane.
flash yet.
Ulti from Keen. Good follow up there from McSmithy. Pobelter going to shove him back. Keen looks to go down. The ulti from McSmithy is going to do it. And Someday going to make his way in, going to try and get a counter kill here. McSmithy pulled back by the bear trap. Someday able to take him down.
And they get a counter kill there. Oh, we see that Jhin is actually rotated towards the mid lane. Is this going to be a push for Tristana on the bottom side? Is Cody Sun's going to go back here and actually missed a back timer because of that. So Tristana has the Infinity Edge and will push out the bottom lane. But right here, they're just trying to exploit Keen, who doesn't have flash just yet. I believe it comes up right now. You can see it ticking at the bottom. About a second or two before it was up. So right on top of that flash timer. But Smithy dies for this, having no flash himself either. And it's just the trade back. Oh, turret dive. You can turret dive with this comp pretty easily. Adrian's going for the interrupt.
Yep, Adrian does get it. Oh, pounds the ground, but gets out of the root with his ulti.
Whoa.
Someday to Slade Pobelter in transition. Rim gets an ulti back down, but he may have gone a little too far forward. Someday looking for the flank, but Flame's in there as well. Someday trying to make it on. Does Q Flame, going to pull him back, but a great spell shield from LA. Going to keep him safe. IMT just still firing long-range shots with the Jhin, but Dignitas going to walk away.
Yeah, but another kill and a turret going over to Dignitas, and they didn't lose anything there. They're now looking at a 4,000 gold lead, which was bigger than what we had seen in the early game for Immortals in the last game.
And it's, again, so surprising. Altec back up even on CS with the first major item now done. Dignitas even going to try and take this Dragon away from Immortals. Be able to get the Cloud Drake and do.
And you can see Altex was like, you guys got this. It's overkill if he stays. Rocket jumps over and starts his back for a better timer. I feel like you go rotate to top now if you're Altec. And he caught him, and there's a flash and a cleanse available for Pobelter. But,
You hate to see that kind of thing happen.
So in that situation, your options are covered much like a fighting game, where the bear trap on a rope landed from Fog of War. You flash now, he's going to be able to joust or even follow you a bit. And after he hit him with the first joust, it meant that you can't flash until the second joust. And after he saw that come through, he flashed, but the auto was already buffered in. So at that point, you only have like one window to possibly flash in, and you have to identify it immediately or else it's closed.
Man, certainly was close there. Pobelter picking up a death for the first time in this game. The Altec swapping towards that top half. Immortals have matched this swap, but I just feel like the Trist is getting farmed a little too easily, given the early pressure that IMC had in the 2v2. And again, Dignitas with any sort of scaling just seems like a potential death wish.
Oh yeah, if you have a scaling comp or something that fights and team fights incredibly well and can start those fights and engage, once you get ahead, you get to take that lead, you just jam it down their throat. You just get to keep going over and over again. And so Adrian now has ultimate, he can turret dive, and this was a lane that was supposed to get punished. Like you said, Altec has been picking up farm in a double-ranged matchup versus his Alistar, who is providing some threat. And this is what we're seeing here, is that it doesn't mean enough that you pick the Morgana early to actually
that was
lane.
so sick from Someday.
Oh,
Not gonna go.
Everybody's going to go.
Smithy, Ole actually going to get caught out here. Absolutely dead as Shrimp. Able to get that kill. And we talk about that lead there for Dig. It started to grow, and the biggest benefactor of that has been Someday. His play has been immaculate to lead his team to this mid-game advantage.
Exactly. Going mid, helping them get that early kill by wrapping around and get that turret. That was the big thing. The turret, the ultimates, and following Pobelter. Pretty much his ultimates have resulted in kills.
And the outer ring's now done. Dignitas actually have 3 turrets to nothing. Immortals with only 2 kills.
Time to get Rift Herald. Do something.
I mean, might as well take it. Not a whole lot of threat right now from Immortals. Someday going to start that again, leading that team around. It should go over nice and quickly.
Oh, and now you find yourself as Immortals in a situation where they have the Rift Herald. They aren't going to use it on a tier 1 turret because they're all down. So they're maybe going to be able to crack a tier 2 quite easily here. And like we just said about jamming a lead down somebody's throat, Someday just did that top lane with that ultimate, and he can do it again when it's back off of cooldown.
Well, Someday has some gold to spend, I believe, so we'll see exactly where he goes.
And I mean, Immortals have low mobility carries, and you only have 1 black shield, so Ole's gonna have to be on top of his game, because Cody Sun and Pobelter are both very susceptible as low mobility carries. 1v1 after he fourth shots.
Versus Duskblade, Cody's son with Morgana also there.
Yeah, Morgana's there as well.
This one.
Ole's like, maybe?
I was like, I'm out!
Nope, Jig is up.
I've been had. I'll take that able to escape and keep the wave safe. Gonna get all of his CS as well.
Yeah.
1,400 gold.
Okay.
In Altek's pocket.
Looking for a Zeal item next after the Infinity Edge. Whereas the Duskblade completed, Serrated Dirk now coming through for Cody's son. The lethality build for the Jhin, but he's up against a lot of tanks. Up against 2.5, because Kled eventually gets to the point where Gargoyle Stoneplate will make him transition from bruiser to tank mid-fight.
Yeah, something interesting to see Cody switch up Jhin builds mid-series.
Yeah, this is a great one because if you auto-attack, the 99% slow still exists on this patch on 7.14. So he'll get the auto-attack, it'll slow, you hit confirm your own W as Jhin, and then the Morgana binding happens. So if you get this in lane, you get guaranteed. Whoa,
Keen knocks back in, but Rift Herald spawn. Keen actually going to get knocked back again, but he burns the heals. Aemon's moving to protect him. Flame going to dive into the team, gets a great knock up onto the carries, and Keen goes down to Smithy with a turret. Has been felled by the Rift Herald, and Somedays chasing down Flame.
Where are you going?
Going to try and find him the bear trap plan. Dartek moves in, it's a flash from Trip.
Oh, he's going to reach the kill.
Flame is going to go down. Altek gets a kill. And now Smithy back in there. The Black Shield's nice to prevent that bear trap from yanking him back towards the team, and Somedays just trying to get out. He's been dismounted, flashes just before that final shot.
I mean, you're slow when you're walking away. He's gonna get rooted.
Finds Someday, could be the kill here. Bond of gold on the table, Ole.
Gotta let it go.
Get it now, Pavel to flash forward. W's on the Shrimp. IMT coming alive. He's gonna try and get the kills, and Adrian just can't do anything. Shrimp, W's to the Wolf to try and leave, but Ole, the sniper.
Baron's
yet another binding.
Yeah, I think that's Baron for Immortals. They'll try to push towards it. They have Smithy who can tank it. That's exactly what they needed to get back in the game.
Altek alive, but he's the only one in position right now to try and contest Flame. He's going to TP in Immortals. They want to take it.
They do it quite slowly, though, because their damage, it's kind of gated right now. Pobelter doesn't have any mana. This is mostly Cody's son's damage. This is going to take forever. You're going to have 3 people here, possibly 4 from Dignitas. They need to place a ward, get Someday in there. Immortals all in the back of the pit. They're going to get stunned. This is bad for IMT. Who's going to get it?
Back Adrian. Big 3-man knock up on the other side. Keen takes down Ole. They just don't care. They're going to take the kill. There's a triple kill for Keen. Cody also going to get chased down. Flame barely lives. But Someday takes the nice kill on Cody. Dignitas claim the Baron for Immortals. That was disastrous.
That's a dig Baron. Pod champ, baby. They take it, they turn the game around, and they stay in the lead.
Just extended there, really. Immortals, a desperate looking Baron, but not calculated well at all. Dignitas just took the gift, left on their doorstep.
You talked about how the Taliyah builds are flexible. He went from Merc Treads into the Banshee's Veil. He doesn't have mana regen. He's looking for something like a Morello, anything, but he doesn't have damage output here because he has no mana, and Keen walks up. We talked about the Syndra getting those early advantages. Everybody's in the back of the pit. The firing squad is lined up, and Keen walks away with a triple there, and they get everybody but Flame, and they get the Baron. Immortals, the #1 team, got desperate.
Yep, and that was Dignitas taking the Baron with Shrimp just casually walking back. He was dead, I'm pretty sure, when that was all happening. So a great defense there from Dignitas, and that desperate Baron call costing Immortals. We talk about how gutsy they are around objectives. Well, that was one step too far. Dignitas almost 10,000 gold ahead as they take their second Drake of the game and keep going with this Baron.
Yeah, and they have a decent amount of scaling too. The fact that they got caught, look at that damage, he is dead.
These carries doing so much work. Someday keep going, but can't quite find the angle onto Ole. Turret's gonna fall though. Dignitas, sorry, looking to crack this bottom inhibitor turret.
They're gonna be pushing. They have that Baron, it's 22 minutes in. Pobelter has 1.5 items right now. He doesn't have the wave clear.
It's not a whole lot right now. Adrian gonna stun up Big Smithy, but just zoning the rest of the team out of the way.
Smithy?
Dignitas gonna take it.
Trying to clear minions.
Too far forward, gets yanked back, but should be okay. Adrian did pop the ultimate, but Dignitas get the prize they wanted. Bottom inhibitor falls at 22.5 minutes.
And this looks grim for the #1 team in the NALCS because Dignitas, with that early advantage, they were able to make a mistake, get punished for it, and because they were so far ahead and the right people survived and they played it correctly, Dignitas were able to come back and not have that be something that was horrific for the game, but instead ended up being positive because IMT misjudged it.
Yeah, massive windfall there for Dignitas, who were already significantly ahead in the game. And now I think everything's just happening so quickly. 3 items done for Keen. We talked about the Syndra Snowball. Flash out from outside, wants to get out from under it. Smithy. But Adrian's like, all right.
They do so much damage, though. There's Syndra.
Oh, it's really spell movement up for long enough. Someday able to get that kill. Alta getting sniped down by Cody with the last bullet. Is he going to hit Flame? Just has to try something, but Someday able to grab the double kill.
Yeah, and now it's just that snowball is rolling downhill. There's so much momentum behind this Kled. Someday has been a monster in this game. His ultimates have been fantastic. His TP flank behind the Baron pit was so good to help them section it off and make sure there was no escape route for IMT.
Dignitas are 12,000 gold ahead.
Yep, 24
minutes.
And this is going to be that second inhibitor turret, that second inhibitor going down. Dignitas, I'm saying this is basically everything with the final touches on this game. They are being rewarded very heavily for the bold calls.
It's going to be one hell of a Baron power play, let me tell you. As Arctic's going to go back and likely buy that third item. He was ready to go on Chris, not yet actually. He goes for that no-magic mantle, so opting for a bit of defenses. I imagine that'll be a QSS, which is a smart purchase, given all the CC. Dignitas just trying to make sure that nothing bad can happen. All they really have to do is cover any windows Immortals have back into the game.
Yeah, they have Baron off the table. There's no Drake coming up next, and it's basically the Cloud Drake. You don't really have to play around that. 2 inhibitors down. They don't have enough magic damage or damage in general to actually clear out these 2 super minion just funneled waves. And now you get to force numbers advantage in top side. As soon as you see somebody clearing that bottom wave, you get to use your Kled ultimate, and this is what the pick is for, is having that AoE, speed up the team, get everybody in there. It's been a big pick this game.
Well, Baron power play, almost 6,000 gold there for Dignitas. We're going to try and siege the final few turrets here, protecting this inhibitor in top lane, but super minions are already creeping towards that Nexus turret in the bottom right. Flame's getting desperate. He's looking for a flank, and Altek's found him.
He does so much damage, though. Altek, he's scaled up. He doesn't matter.
Altek's going in, gonna hop back in once again. Flame forced to flush. Altek trying to find him.
Just needs the red buff. There's static shift.
Someday's gonna find him. Doesn't matter. The ult, he's able to track him down. Flame, no flash, goes down to Someday.
And Someday helping pick it up. Flame 3 levels down, even a level down behind Altek. He has just been, honestly, very ineffective in this game.
Dignitas, we've seen in game 1 and 2, they were behind and still made a big fight of the series, and now went ahead, showing that they can snowball with the best of them here. Looking to try and close this one out. The ultimate out there from Shrimp, just zoning everyone out from IMT. That turret's gonna die. In fact, Adrian straight in. His Found Belt to the cleanse, not gonna help you there.
Altek knocked in, but it's still so much damage.
Ulti almost solos at Cody. Stung gonna throw the W in, but it's not quite enough. Smithy goes down to Someday. It's just a rampage here for Dig in the base. Cody firing shots from the fountain, hoping against hope that something changes. But Keen still living for a little while longer. A shutdown for Smithy, but Flame's gonna fall.
They gets their food.
The Nexus is open. Dignitas maybe a little too far forward.
He's trying to finish it now.
He's trying to do everything. He got them ahead. He kept them ahead. And now he's gonna end the game. Dignitas, topple Immortals.
Game over for IMT. Dig take it, and they will be in playoffs, and they have secured their spot.
And in what fashion as well, an incredible series between these two teams, back and forth, except in that final game. Dignitas with a lead showed that they are a very threatening team.
It went back, and then it almost went forth in that Baron play. But it was Immortals with the pressure that was applied to them early. Keen got ahead, was able to affect Pobelter's build, and then everybody else kind of didn't have the damage necessary for it. And I gotta say, we're checking up on, the ceiling for Dignitas. They just took down the #1 team. Altek in particular had 2 deaths in this entire series, with one of them coming at the very end there. And then you look at somebody like you were talking about, Someday, who came in at the beginning of the year, and that was just a disgusting Kled performance from him. That was a team play Kled, where he is just constantly going in, pushing the lead, and now Dignitas, you have some questions about where are they going to end the season in, not the regular season, the season in general, because this team is looking better and better every week.
I mean, I called him a monster in his introduction. Looks very cute in his player picture, but
deceptive.
That was a Someday carry performance that I have not seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, it is one thing to be so mechanically good that you can just kind of outclass your opponents in a lot of ways, and Someday is that player for so many reasons, but this man's game sense pretty much carried that game just using his brain. I can roam here, I can pressure this spot, I'm gonna find this person moving through in transition and get a pick.
Yeah, and right there, like, Altec, like, he's somebody that's always kind of been, I consider him very level-headed, right? Somebody who doesn't get super energized by plays. That's probably one of the happiest I've ever seen him because Dignitas are surging. He's looking incredibly good. And the team, like you said, someday, massive performance from him. 8-1-5 was multiple levels ahead of Flame near the end of the game. And then he's able to just focus up, kill the Nexus, make sure the game doesn't have any delay to it, and get out of there and take down the #1 team.
I told you, he started the game, got them ahead, he kept them ahead, and then he ended the game as well. Somebody pretty much did everything he possibly could to solo carry in a very team-oriented game with a very team-oriented team. Dignitas playing so well together to get themselves to this spot.
Yeah, and they were tied for 4th. They're going to move up and have themselves be around that 4th place spot right now with the teams around them. We're figuring out what those results are. Envy dropped, so they will no longer be that multiple-man tie for 4th. The 3-man, maybe 2, depending the results of Cloud9 TL.
Yeah, and I think, again, just one last hit on Altec. I think I kind of played that when we talked to him last, feeling a little dejected, but really motivated on FlyQuest in spring to move into the summer. I think proving himself definitely a lot more here, and you can tell with a smile on his face. But for a first-hand account on that series, let's hear from Freak and Team Dignitas' man in support.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Adrian, Coin Alistair himself, and I want to talk to you about the fact that you just beat the #1 team as far as ratings are concerned in North American LCS. Do you expect that, and how do you feel afterwards?
Yeah, like, I was really confident going into the game because I know we're a top team. Like, I'm kind of glad we lost to C9 last week because, like, if we beat them and stomped them, we probably would have been, like, really complacent and, like, I had a big ego. But, like, once we lost to C9, like, we realized that we were in hot shit and that we had to keep improving still for playoffs.
Well, speaking of being hot shit, you guys are 4-1 with you in the lineup right now. You beat Immortals, you beat TSM, you beat CLG. As you mentioned, your only loss is Cloud9. Where is Dignitas right now? Are they like the #1 team? Like, you've beaten all these top teams now.
I don't think we're a top team yet. We have to prove it in playoffs because, like, I've always been good in regular season, but, like, I've never won the playoffs. So, like, I think we're definitely top 3, but I'm not sure until we play.
Well, speaking of definitely being top 3, I want to kind of ask you, because we've only seen 5 matches with this lineup, what does make this team Dignitas so good?
I don't know. Like, I feel like everyone really wants to go to Worlds right now. Like, everyone's, like, so motivated to try the hardest. Well, some other previous teams, people weren't. So, like, I'm really confident that, like, everyone's, like, really wants to go to Worlds because, like, it's all that really matters now.
And you guys definitely look very good. It seems like you're likely to make that happen. I want to ask you about a more recent sort of topic in the community. People are talking about Coin a whole lot on supports. We're seeing it now in Alistair and sometimes Thresh and Tarek and things like this. Is Coin OP? Is it a choice? Like, give me kind of your thoughts on that kind of line of items.
I don't think Coin's that OP. I think, like, every other item is just really weak. I feel like Coin just, like, gives us gold, but, like, I think Relic and Spell Thieves is really weak right now, so hopefully they buff those support items.
So you want to get more gold from the other items. That actually makes sense. Thank you. So final question for you. Tomorrow you face off against Echo Fox. And if you win, you guarantee a playoff spot for Team Envy. So your old teammate Apollo can be guaranteed top 6. Are you pulling it out for him?
Yeah, I love Apollo. Dude. Like, I'll definitely try my hardest tomorrow, and, like, hopefully we play against Apollo in playoffs.
Hopefully he plays against Apollo in playoffs. There you go. Thank you very much, Adrian. Congrats on the win, and we'll see you tomorrow, of course. Anna, let's take it away.
We are closing the series here for Cloud9. We're going to be well